It's been 2 or 3 weeks since my last upload. I feel I owe you an apology and I want to explain. So this is going to be in 4 chapters. So if you stay to the end, I'll just share with you a little secret sauce to how I managed to keep a positive mindset despite adversity. Just soaking in the sun while the last bit of summer is like dwindling in the UK. So recently my contract came to an end. I'm currently unemployed. And as a result of being unemployed, naturally your stress goes up and, your symptoms for fibromyalgia increases. And for those of you that are also unemployed and in the same industry as I am, which is I'm a product designer, you know it's a tough market out there and you know it's really difficult. I mean, I've never been unemployed before. Yes, I've been made redundant and I've been through my own fair share of hurdles, but I've always been able to quickly line something up without a gap in between. This is the first time I've got a gap and I did not anticipate the impact it would have on me. And as a result of the market being as tough as it is, you need to stand out more. So it took me over 30 days consecutively, very much sleep deprived, to redo a 12-year design career portfolio online. I built a website. I had Beyonds, but they frowned on that, so I got my own domain. You gotta do what you gotta do. Sharpen the tools. I just want to cover in a really quick rant what fibromyalgia is. It affects 1 in 25 people. Majority of those people are women. It differs from person to person and it also differs from day to day. It's typically a widespread pain, whereas it gets much worse with sustained activities. My delayed onset muscle soreness would be way worse than someone else's. And on top of it, I'll have other issues as well. That is just really painful. So when I was doing my portfolio and my case study of my last project, that was 2 years of work, naturally I sat a lot more. I went into like a total hyper-focus with it. My mental and physical health just deteriorated. But I had to stay on task because I need to get a job. More symptoms include tiredness and fatigue and just a general lack of energy. That is predominantly what I had. Sleep disorders, headaches, feeling low and weepy, increased sensitivity to cold, sound, light, touch, bumps and knocks, tender joints and muscles. Increased stress leads to more nerve pain, so your whole nervous system throughout. Spasms in my legs. So with all these symptoms that I've just brushed over, it's not by any means all of them, we typically ask ourselves what causes it? Because at least if you know why it happens or what causes it to happen, you can just stop doing that one thing because obviously you don't want to live in chronic pain and have all these issues. The problem is they don't know. What they do know is that increased anxiety, sleep disruption, and physical and mental trauma can increase the symptoms that are related to fibromyalgia. I'm gonna add one more there that it's not listed, food. This is my own personal experience. That's why I'm making these, because I wanna share what I find helps me. The reason I'm saying food is because the thing that prevented me from uploading content, I was focusing on my portfolio, I was building it out. I had set aside a few days every week to make these videos. But unfortunately, I was overcome by such insanely intense fatigue that it's something that I don't typically suffer with, but it just completely knocked me for a 6. I did not know what was happening. And in that situation, because we don't know what causes it, I went into like an analyzation mode and I was thinking to myself, what did I do the last week that would have led to me being so fatigued that I couldn't get out of bed. I could barely lift my arms. I couldn't even stay awake for more than 10 minutes at a time without drooling. I could simply not stay awake. I had blurry vision. I couldn't go walk my dog because my balance was completely disrupted. It's horrible. It feels like you're completely drugged. The only thing I could think of was, in trying to make the most of the time I had for my portfolio, I was trying to save time cooking my food. So I would make a meal that would give me like 4 or 5 meals out of it. I made a rookie error. I broke my own golden rule of my typical diet, which is carnivore, 70% fat, 30% protein. I'm trying to save a little bit of money. It shouldn't really have affected me. I included sweet potato, cauliflower, and carrots. The amount of carbs per meal was completely out of whack with what I found works for my body and keeps me sharp. And as a result, that is the only thing I can find that has changed. And it coincided perfectly with the time that I had my extreme fatigue. So I want to touch on how I actually bounced back and just a little bit of my diet quickly. If you share the same kind of experience or if you've played with your diet, it'd be great to hear your findings as well. Even if you don't have fibromyalgia or chronic fatigue or all these things, because I've tried quite a few. How do you overcome these challenges that I've just touched on? It was very difficult to make sense of the world, time of day, night. You don't have your wits about you. Your mind is not sharp. It's like someone's got you on some serious tripping balls drugs. I'm not kidding. It is not comfortable. The last time I felt anything remotely similar was just after my knee operations. I had some really intense morphine and other kinds of medications to help deal with the pain, where it just knocks you out and you just feel completely like drool phase, pretty much the whole recovery. That's what those few days felt like. So when I was going through that dip and I couldn't see clearly and I was completely like, my brain was foggy, the only few things I could think to do, I typically stick with grass-fed beef, lamb. Occasionally I'll have some salmon. It's a quick meal, don't have to cook or prep anything. And then fruit, I typically stay away from very high sugary fruits. And I also stay away from fibrous fruits. So orange juice is my vice at the moment. I get cravings for orange juice, so I allow myself to have my cravings because I'm also a believer in listening to my body, what it wants. I'll occasionally have some strawberries, not too many, maybe 4 or 5, some blueberries, and I always have meat with it. So never eat it in isolation. It just counterbalances the amounts of sugar that I get from my fruit. Veggies, I started off with only dark green, leafy green veggies. Spinach, I do crispy kale, courgette works really well on like a roast. Only coconut oil and extra virgin olive oil. It's a cold pressed oil. It goes down pretty well and it doesn't cause too much havoc. It was really hard to exercise because obviously I'm super tired, but it was important for me to just pitch up at gym, then the rest will take care of itself. And I just did whatever I could. And if I needed to walk out, have a break because I was feeling very faint or wanted to throw up, I went outside and I just took a moment to cool down, pulled myself together, and then went back in. The first time I went to gym during this phase, I only managed to do about 20 minutes of training. But from going like completely on the sofa to 20 minutes of activity, that's a huge win. You've done well. So exercise is key because it increases blood circulation and oxygen to the brain. Hydrate, drink lots of water and electrolytes. I find electrolytes gives you all your minerals and things that typically just perks you up a little bit, right? So hydration is really important. I typically just want to sleep, you don't want to do much, but you need to keep hydrating your body because it just helps you to like kick back that alertness in your brain and just kind of get yourself to get through it. And as you try and just build some momentum to try and get out of that deep chronic fatigue slumber that you find yourself in. Cold showers is my third one. I would typically shower, wash my hair, do whatever I need to do. And then right as I'm finished, not even like gradually, I just turn it right down and it would just snap me out for like even a moment just to feel alert. Wow, that's a shock. And that was good. It's like a slight boost of adrenaline. It also releases a little bit of a dopamine hit. There's something pleasurable about that discomfort that just made me feel a little bit better in the moment. Cold water, that's what I recommend. Fresh air and movement. Even if you just go sit outside, kick your legs, move your arms, maybe you feel up for it to just go walk literally just around the block or in your garden, you'll be amazed at how much of a difference that makes. And also, if it's a beautiful day, just get a bit of sunlight. My fifth and final one on this list before we get to the bonus tips is no caffeine. I know it's tempting. Caffeine is seen as this whole pick-me-up thing. Caffeine can pick me up, but it actually gives me a headache, and then the crash takes me so much lower than where I was with the fatigue. So I'm here with the fatigue, have coffee, not fun. Just stick to water and electrolytes. Believe me, like if your body could say what it wants, it would always tell you water, maybe orange juice. Do you guys hear my knee clicking the whole time? It's just like, I promise bonus tips at the end, so if you stay to the end, thank you so much. By the way, if you're not subscribed already, I'd really appreciate it. It really does help my channel a lot, especially because I'm unemployed at the moment. My stress is high. I'm trying to grow my channel because it's the only thing I can control. While I apply for work, I can't control when I have a job, so I'd really appreciate it. And let me know if you find this content helpful or informative. Okay, bonus tips. I never knew this quote would impact my life as much as it has. I would almost go as far as to say this is probably like a life motto at this point. Geez, my hair look horrible. Sorry. Ree's away on a conference and she took the straightener with, and I can't really do anything with this. So apologies. Everybody knows the quote from Rocky. It's a big one. It goes, it's not about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. I was down. I was like, they were counting 10. I was gonna lose the battle, but I refused because I'm not someone who quits. And through the fogginess, I was able to at least find some steps to move forward. That means even on a bad day, I know there's light at the end of the tunnel. Just because there's light at the end of the tunnel does not mean it's a train heading towards me. It's maybe just a light and I still have to walk through the tunnel. Two more things. Everybody have bad spots, but it's a matter of how you view them. It's your perspective that counts, and you choose to focus on the good days that lie ahead. Then what appears to be a mission impossible at first, in retrospect, only appeared to be a mission impossible. But in fact, you've grown and you've gotten out the other end and you've proven to yourself, I am bigger than that challenge. And that is such a big reward. We can't have rewards without challenges. Number 3, this one's probably going to be a little bit controversial, so please don't bash me for this. I'm sharing with you what works for me, and this is a really big one for me, and it always helps me with my perspective in life. Throughout this challenge, I was constantly in prayer, knowing that I don't have to carry that entire burden by myself, let it weigh me down, that in my moment of weakness, when I'm not able to, I can cast that over and know that I'm not alone. These are things that works for me. I really wanted to share them with you. That whatever challenges you're facing, don't be discouraged. Try and see that there will be good days ahead. Other people outside of us can't always see what we're struggling. It's hard to sometimes convey how challenging things can be for us, but you will get through it, and the reward is always so much sweeter than giving in to the challenge, just drowning. Focusing on the positive makes me feel like there's always hope. That was it. Thank you for staying to the end. I just wanted to interrupt the lake series that I was busy with because I've been absent for a while, and I just wanted to check in and just apologize, really, because you come to watch my content. I appreciate the support, and I just wanted to explain exactly what happened. That's what this channel is about. It started out being about my fibromyalgia, and actually when it got really bad, I realized I'm so grateful that I made that part of my channel, because otherwise I wouldn't have known how I would have explained what happened to me the last 2 weeks if I wasn't completely honest and vulnerable. So yeah, this is quite a... This was... this was a hard one to share. Thanks for watching. I'll be posting a little bit more content, I think, because I apply for jobs and then I've got a little bit more time. So stay tuned.